coming to you live from inside, outside, and all around our houses in this COVID-inspired lockdown. This is Calm Down with Mulk and Braden. Join us tonight as we have special guests, musical guests, video of the week, and who knows what else happens when we turn the satellite on. Please give a big hand to our house band, George and the Jetsons. Remember to calm down and welcome your hosts, Mulk and Braden.
Braden, we're back.
We've made it.
What is even happening? Welcome
a
back.
Sloppy start, but that might just set the tone.
Looking very much good.
Episode 4. Here we are.
Let's recount this many people. 4. We're here. We're back. My name is Mulk. That guy's Braden, and this is Calm Down with Mulk and Braden. We're so glad that you could join us this week for what is, quite honestly, Braden, our biggest episode yet.
Well, mate, any bigger, and we would be in dangerous territory. We are right at the edge.
Right at the edge. Now, each week we want to remind you that there is a giveaway happening as a part of Calm Down, and that is that you could win this T-shirt. It just gets crappier every week. And this half-used pen. This is the Calm Down prize pack. All you have to do is give us great content in the comments so that we can smash it up onto the screen, exactly like Will Nicholas has done here. Where can I buy a T-shirt? Will, I recommend plenty of places. Target, Big W, Kmart, Dimmies, if you're into that sort of thing. There's lots of different places that you can get a T-shirt. But look, get a T-shirt. Give us a comment. If you're going to do it, though, you do need to comment on the Pulse page so that we can add the comment on screen like that. It's great that people are watching on the UCA Youth page. That's fabulous. The only place that is going to count for us to do anything is going to be on the Pulse page. Just like Phil Dokmatovich, great content. That is a man with discerning tastes and a great hat.
What you mean there, Mulk, is that if you are watching through the UCA Youth page, but you want to try and win the shirt, you need to go to facebook.com/UCA Pulse.
Correct.
The same show. We're there.
Same show, 2 places.
2 places.
We're simulcasting, Braden.
Yes. But then if you got some funny jokes or maybe some compliments for the co-host, we'll be able to pop that up right here and you might win the shirt.
Braden,
I haven't worn that shirt since we announced it as a prize, by the way.
Look, wow, it's cleaner than it's ever going to be, friends. Cleaner than it ever has been. Can I ask you a question? What's going on with the green screen, Braden?
Yeah, no, mate, it's high tech.
It's very high tech.
Yeah, it's I saw it and I thought that could add some professionalism. So I got a green screen. Yeah.
Great.
Like
well, I look forward to the use of the green screen at some point in the show.
No, I'm using it. I got the green screen just for this show. So it's great. It's great.
Okay,
Mark,
awesome. Yes.
A lot of people are tuning in tonight because of our guests coming up.
Yes.
Gretel
Who are they, Braden, first of all?
Gretel David Campbell.
Correct. Both of them
household names tuning into the Calm Down house.
Yes.
But and you will have known every guest that's come on Calm Down has been a legend.
Amazing.
Household names, and just shows that our influence is growing. It's growing. And I noticed this, Mulk, when I was sitting on the couch over the weekend. I noticed that perhaps many people are watching Calm Down.
Yes.
And Mulk, I prepared a short investigative in a short video to show just how far the influence of Calm Down is going. Mulk, can you play that video, please?
I'll whack it in the JVC VCR. Let's have a look at this.
Yes.
Oh, legends! Lego Legends. Now, right, the concept here is they get a certain amount of time to use the pieces to design something else. I've got a host. 1 second. Put this piece here, and then look, they'll be able to completely.
The verge of a whole new world. Whoa! Gotta keep building and never give up. That's the Lego Masters, mate. That's awesome. Lego Masters. What is this magic?
The sheer number of copyright infringements in that video are so staggering, there are literally not enough lawyers to get me out of this one.
Look, comprehensive. Comprehensive is what we've just seen, Braden. That's for sure. Well done.
The lawyers.
And, yes, the lawyers will be involved.
Next week's our finale. We're going to talk about that a bit later, but I'm going to prepare another video, another report, because I was in the shops this morning and Mulk, something caught my eye. This is the Allen's
Classic Party Mix.
Party Mix.
We are not sponsored by Allen's in any way.
No. The Allen's Retro Party Mix.
Yes.
And this is the Allen's Party Mix.
Yes.
What sort of party did they... So I'm going to spend a good part of the next week eating the 3 different party mixes and come back with the verdict on what's going on.
On which is the best party.
Allen's.
Great.
That why do we need 3? I couldn't find a normal size, so this one's massive. But why do we need 3 different party mixes, Alan?
I thought the investigation was going to be why one is bigger than the other 2. Okay.
No, just when you're in the country down here at Gisborne, you take what you can get.
Yes, you do. And speaking of being out in the country, Braden, I've sent Luke on assignment. I think we should cross to him. We've had no luck getting onto him in past weeks. Regular viewers would understand. Let's see what's going on with Luke now. Luke, can you... Luke, I don't know where he is. I'm gonna have to track him down. I'm sorry about that, friends. We'll worry about our live cross to Luke later. Braden, it's probably time to bring in our very patient guest who has had to put up with all of this crap before we bring them on. Now, this person, Braden, is an actual published author.
Fantastic.
It's incredible. Someone with heaps of opinions. You might know her as a lady who appears on television talking about things. We know her as the one and the only Gretel Killeen. Ladies, please welcome Gretel Killeen. And gentlemen, hello, Gretel.
Yeah. That was an interesting... I'm just trying to frame my head.
There we go.
Nice to meet you here.
It's lovely to see you. Yes.
Nice to meet everybody who's watching us. Why do you have to eat all the lollies in your experiment? Couldn't you just lay them all out flat on a bench and
look at the question
included and which was not?
Gretel, we asked the questions, you answered.
I just feel that would, because we haven't met before.
No,
that would help me understand you, I think.
Okay. Well, look, I'll take a photo of a few before I eat them.
Okay, so it's like a Trump scientific experiment, as in not very sound. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, not based at all on data.
Okay. All right, and I shall not ask any more questions.
Welcome to CalmDown, the place where we don't base anything on data. Gretel,
yes.
in the midst of the craziness that is this coronavirus process, how are you coping? How are you going looking after yourself in this?
Oh, very well, thank you very much. But you know, I work in the arts, so I'm used to the rhythm of this life. My children are older, so I'm not having the battle that many people have of trying to educate their children at home and also stay with their boredom. So I'm in this little window of my life where I can. Once you're over 50, you kind of have a different value system. You get out of the rat race somewhat. And if I were younger, I think I'd be going nuttier. But I'm pretty chilled. I've been painting. I've got a new book that I'm working on. I have my daughter's dog here. I check in on pals quite a lot. Great. Some of whom I've realised are not that great. No, I'm kidding. They're fine. I mean, they've probably realised the same thing about me, quite frankly. What else? I had some affairs in my mind, you know, like affairs of the heart in my mind, not sneaky little affairs. I'm just doing what everybody's doing, trying to stay calm. Hey, good name for a show.
a great idea. Staying calm is something we're proud of, Braden.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we base this whole show about. Now, Gretel, I wanted to ask you a question. You had the opportunity that very few people have had, and earlier this year, in the midst of the bushfire disaster, you're on telly with that guy that looks like he should be on one of those old British sitcoms. Anyway, and you got to publicly smack down Chris Smith and Scott Morrison on national TV. What was that like? That must have been amazing. How many people would love that opportunity?
Well, it was odd because I was very calm. I don't know why that was. It was early in the morning and I was calm, and I didn't think we'd be going down that pathway with the questions and the subjects. So it really just came, it didn't come out of my brain, it came from my heart. It was just something that I didn't realize I felt so passionately. As it turns out, I did. But I mean, I was really glad I was articulate. I thought, well, fluke that one in. I was grateful for that. I was grateful that I was articulate. I was grateful that later on in the day I still agreed with what I said. But sometimes you can look back and think, oh, maybe that wasn't as great as I thought. But, you know, I do like to consider things and contemplate, you know, like one of the things of which, you know, I didn't know you well enough to suggest this when you first asked me what I'm doing in this strange time. But now that I know you a bit better, having spoken for a couple of minutes with you, I really like thinking what do I think about this time? What do I think about the world that has allowed this to happen, that is trying to cope with it? So the kind of analysis I gave to leadership in the one you were mentioning there is what I'm thinking about here as well. Like when we do talk about when things get back to normal, I think it's a really important question for a lot of people to think about how much of normal do they want back, and how much of it was just this weird bandwagon that we all thought was the only form of transport, to completely confuse a metaphor, particularly for those of us who don't know what a bandwagon is, which would also include me.
Yeah, no, that look, it resonated with me. I was cheering from the sidelines. Absolutely. I thought your sporting metaphors needed a little bit of work, but it was early.
Anyone who didn't get that sporting metaphor, sadly, that's a reflection on them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because the metaphor was really good.
We don't need to criticise the guests, all right? They're good.
No, I don't mind. Hello, I've been in the public eye most of my careers. I'm pretty used to it. It's the only love I get. No, I'm kidding. Of course
how is my framing? Is it better? You gave me some constructive advice.
I did worry about your framing. Well, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if your head was too small.
This will help.
You wanted me closer to
now I'm not framed, but that's you guys.
Yeah.
Your
head's massive now, Braden. You have a massive head.
Well, how did your head get so big? It's because I did think that might be it. You weren't sitting up straight. And to everybody watching, there's a lesson in that. If you don't sit up straight, your head looks small.
People at home are learning a lot.
I like to teach.
Well, it's a gift that some have and some don't, Gretel. Are you able to give us an insight into, you mentioned that you're writing a book during this crazy time. Is it connected to this, or is it just a new creative piece coming out of you?
Well, I've written and had a lot of books published, which is 30-something. And I have a book that's coming out next year, which I really enjoyed writing, and it's really about life. I started as a comic, as a humorist, and it's funny, but it's about mother-daughter relationships. But of course, that touches on everybody, every man that's ever loved a woman, dated a woman, had daughters, whatever it is. They know the complexity of mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah,
can be very laid, though full of love. And then I just thought, and this was part of my coping mechanism with this time, was as I finished that one, I thought, well, I'm just stay on a roll and write the sequel to it, even though no one has actually asked for the sequel yet. But I thought, get ahead, Gretel.
Sure. Well, that way you've got it ready to go.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's kind of, I'm doing the work before any payment is there. And that's why I've been painting as well, because I thought, oh, this is interesting. And then maybe I have some talent, maybe I don't. But I thought modern art, you don't really need talent. No one can tell. It's not like being a comic where if you don't work on stage, nobody laughs. if your art doesn't work, you can blame the person looking at it a little bit.
Yeah,
The same way I just did with the sporting metaphor there.
I
So,
like it.
long-winded answer to your question. Is it about this time? No, because I think every second novel is probably going to be about this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And while I think it's important to touch on shared experiences, when you dig down deep into this shared experience, it's not that it's not, no, what can I say? And connecting with other people, it's a repetition of the same experience, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
people who've lost their jobs, terrible, terrible. But once again, to just comment on my age, one of the things that happens is you do see the cycle of life. You know, you have seen a few of these things before, and you do, not this, obviously, this is massive, but other things in the world, and you know that with the help of each other, we come through this. So for anybody who's lost their job, it's terrible, but we do know they'll be okay. Sometimes you can't see how at the moment.
Yes.
But it will be okay.
It will be. And look, we're glad that we can touch base with you, find out that you're still okay. All we really need is a picture of the Daily Telegraph front cover for proof of life. But I think this is not pre-recorded. This is very live. So Gretel is okay, everyone. We're
I'm
happy that she's
okay.
joining us.
What about
Hooray!
you? Before we go,
Yes.
like obviously you've spent ages and ages preparing this show every week.
Minutes.
Yeah, but other than that, how are you two coping?
Gretel, thank you. No one's asked me in the context of the show. I'm doing great, actually, though I am missing real-life human interaction where you sit next to or across the table from someone.
Yeah.
Oh, my family, I'm going spare. They can go back to school. I just need my house back to myself.
Right, so obviously they're not watching the show.
And they will be later.
And what about you? How are you thinking?
Yeah, well, as you can see on the green screen, this is sort of my coping mechanism
Yeah.
here. So it's look, my wife's beginning to worry about some of my quirky behaviors.
Like what?
So than usual. So but yeah, no, I'm playing a lot of Uno with my kids. Really, just trying to.
How old are your kids?
6 and 8.
Oh, so you're doing the home teaching.
Yes.
And what about, have you got kids?
Yeah. One is nearly 15, and my daughter is 13, going on 27.
Okay, nightmare household. Whoa.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you well, you two.
Thank you. And you.
And you, Gretel. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Nice to chat with you.
Marvelous.
Nice.
Everyone, it's Gretel Killeen.
Checking out the new book.
Yes.
And Gretel Killeen, everybody.
Thank you. I hope you get something to put on your green screen.
Yeah, well, look, on our production meeting, mate, we've got to work that out. There's nothing on there. Your green screen's not working. Bye.
Let's say goodbye to the guests. What do you mean?
Your green screen's not working. What do you think's on there?
Mate, my background. That's what. Maybe it's because you're in production. Maybe the viewers can see it. Maybe it's just for the viewers.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing in and of itself. Just while we're pressing on, and look, thanks so much to Gretel for joining us. It was lovely to see her and have her on the show, wasn't it? We did get.
She's a lovely person.
Some great comments, including Braden. I did forget to mention this at the top of the show.
Yes.
Our fan loves tuning in. Our fan loves tuning in every week to watch the Mork and Mindy show.
Yes.
So we're very pleased. I mean, and all of that,
niche.
They only got my name wrong by one letter. They got your whole gender wrong.
Oh, look, you take good with the bad.
Yeah, nothing worse. Quite frankly,
viewing is good viewing.
We've got some great comments coming through. Christy Morgan has got this one for us. Nothing more beautiful than Gretel roasting Braden about his posture. That is quality content. I completely agree. And trust me, if I could have recorded what happened before the show, she absolutely spanked him. It was amazing.
We would have had to change the rating.
Oh, it was so great. Look, it's pretty good. What have we got here? Catherine Allen is saying that when it zooms out, it looks a lot like Braden has bought a ream of green paper and stuck it carefully to his wall.
No, Catherine, thanks for tuning in. It might be a problem with your browser. Can you make sure that your browser's up to date? So Explorer can't process the sort of chroma key technology going on here.
I mean, look at that.
Look at that.
It's
That's fantastic.
it's a beautiful view of a green rolling hill.
Now, Mark, I've got a question
Sure.
before we move on to
Yep.
into the run sheet. What do we, sort of one of these on-air production meetings, what do we think about birthday shout-outs?
Look, I'm down with birthday shout-outs. I think it's the best way to get fans connected to what's happening here and calm down.
Okay. What about other messages? Like if someone wanted us to tell their boyfriend that they're breaking up with them, or anonymous confessions. What about that? Like,
the boyfriend breakup has to happen with at least one of them on screen with us. That's the only way that works. Otherwise, we don't go viral.
What about the boyfriend? Could we tell him live that his girlfriend is...
That doesn't sound like it's very caring, Braden.
I'm just trying to think about how we could monetize this, mate.
Oh, sure. Well, we just need those moments. We need a moment where the whole show goes viral. That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Speaking of which, we need to check in on Luke. We need to make sure that he's got an important message to give us. So let's just find out what's happening with Luke. Luke, he's still not there.
Luke?
He's not. Luke? I don't know. Braden?
It looks like he just won Minesweeper or something. You know?
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to go out and check on him and make sure he's there because he's got an important message to share. Next week's our final show, Braden. So we need to. We need to make sure that for a big series finale, we can bring him in.
While I just tinker over here.
You tinker over. What are you tinkering over there for? We've got to talk about next week, Braden, as a part of our final show. Do you want to know who the guests are that we've got booked?
Well, I mean, I feel like we should have saved this week's guests till next week, mate, for quality. But sure, tell me.
You work it out. This week, Gretel Killeen David Campbell. Next week.
Oh, amazing.
Incredible, right? Next week, Merrick Watts, Ash London.
London?
Georgie Coughlin.
I don't believe you. Actual
real human stars, along with the stars that we've had this week. It's incredible. Everybody is wanting to turn up and be on CalmDown. Everybody.
Everyone, absolutely.
Absolutely everyone.
That's sensational. Are you sure? Merrick, Ash London, Georgie Coughlin.
That's totally what it is for our finale. Now, Braden, that's what's happening next week. Now, I understand that you've got a new segment, and I say this so cautiously because your last couple of segments have been, let's just say, of a debacle.
Bangers.
Well,
mate. Yep.
You say bangers. Do I need to put you on full screen for the glory of this?
Yes. But sometimes you put me. Yeah, that's better.
I got it right this time.
I'm inspired. I was inspired by Gretel.
Sure.
Okay.
As you should be.
With next week's finale, I got to thinking about what happens beyond CalmDown.
It's bleak. It's a bleak view, is what I'm thinking.
So this week's segment is actually kind of an audition tape for me to use for a gig on Sky News.
Yes.
But I want to show how versatile I am, so I'm going to be both the host and the guest.
Great.
Okay,
sure.
So
I don't know how this is going to work.
Dun, 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 dun. And because I'm a white man, like I'm already in. Like
you're more than a foot in the door.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Evenings with Braden. I've got a guest tonight. Welcome to the show. Tonight our topic is COVID-19. So let's just check. It's are you a scientist? No. Are you like an economist? No. Have you worked in any levels of government? No.
He's not moving his mouth.
No. It's hard. No. So, to comment on COVID-19, I have a membership to the IPA, and I'm a white man.
Look at us getting political.
Fair enough. Well, welcome to the show. What do you think we need to do? Restart the economy, and because my share portfolio. But what about all the lives that would be in jeopardy? Oh no, sorry, I'm on Sky News. I don't care. So what do you reckon, Mark? What do you reckon? Pretty good.
That's amazing.
We're going to cut that up, and I'm going to send it off to Sky News. So from the end of Calm Down, I might have another job. Who knows? And look, I've even got the Sky News background.
It looks amazing, Braden.
Yeah.
Did you know I have one of those headaches behind your ears from laughing too much? Your puppetry skills. That was phenomenal.
Now, coming through on the UCA Youth page.
Yes.
And again, if you want them on the screen, you need to be over at UCA Pulse, and someone helpful might put that link in the comments. But a couple of people commented that my screen looks green. Again, you need to check your settings because what we have here is a very professional green screen, and coming up soon, my video of the week is going to be played on there, and you do not want to miss it.
Can you explain, for those that are having troubles, Braden, what should they be seeing behind you?
Oh, well, I mean, just then there was the sort of the new studio background.
Yes.
It's one of those typical sort of oases of what we're all missing. Sort of there's a park. You can see it. Well, they can see it. It's just we're in the studio.
Yeah.
That you can't see it.
Nobody explains it like you do, Braden. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will offer that. Dave Cornford has offered this comment about your audition for Sky News. He just said the sky is falling. So I think
that's positive, right?
I'd take it as so. I mean, he's not your boss.
It's an homage to Bond.
It is. It really is. I'm loving what he's doing with his whole look there. Braden, now comes to probably our second, probably third most requested segment in the show, a video of the week. Who's going first, you or me?
You go first.
Me? I'll go first this week.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hope the video works first of all. Now, Braden, I didn't know until I found this video that there is a university for stunt men and women in France. I'll just let that sink in. There is a stunt man and woman university in France. Now, and during their lockdown, guess what they all got up to? They all got up to this.
Prayer.
There's some great hits in this sequence. My favourite's coming up when the guy picks up the kid.
How many students do they have?
They've got a few. Very clearly, they've got more than one.
Oh, finally, some personal protection.
Yeah. Got to take it seriously.
I'm yet to find someone who can play my stunt double.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Good find,
So,
Noel.
It's
Great
mate,
find.
it's a cracker. And just to see, particularly that guy falling down the stairs at the end is great. But there's all of that stuff going on from
Great.
a stuntman woman university in France. That's crazy.
Well, mate, if working for the Uniting Church ends sometime soon for us, I know where we're going.
That's right. Been one of these.
Yeah. Now, my video of the week. Little ditty I picked up from James Veach.
Great.
He's a YouTuber from the UK, so I guess he's a UK tuber.
Don't ever do that again.
Sorry, Mum. You might have seen his TED talk on replying to spam emails. He sort of that got a bit of traction and stuff. But he has released a instructional video for hand washing, which is also a love song.
Great.
So, Mulk, play that for us.
I'll whack it in the JVC VCR. Here we go.
Yep. We'll fire it up.
Wash your hands, just in case. Sneeze into your elbow, don't touch your face. That's what we gotta do, so it won't be the Spanish
I like
flu.
your shirt.
I just want to self-isolate you. And then we do it again pretty much. Wash, yeah, there are no more lyrics, is it? Just in case, we can do a little bit of sneeze into your elbow, don't touch your face. That's what we gotta do, so it won't be Spanish flu. I just want to self-isolate you. And then we hit the middle eight. It's not just me saying this to you. I mean, this is actual advice directly from the Who. Not the band, but the organisation. Although I asked them, and they told me, they said they'd actually spoken to Roger Daltrey, and he pretty much said exactly the same thing that I was going to say to you in the court, you know, this next bit.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like the idea that we might find that person that we love and choose to self-isolate with them. I'm also really keen to buy one of those little sort of MIDI keyboard things.
Yeah, whatever that is pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah, so I reckon if he can do it, I reckon I could learn those skills.
Look, I'm sure, Braden, that it could form part of your Acaronapella process. There's nothing there, mate. It's just a big green screen.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
We really need to push on. There are a couple more comments we probably should throw up before we go to our final guest.
Any good ones?
Well, Steve Corkay, he's pretty impressed very easily because he's enjoying this.
Look, watch this. Hello. Still there.
Mate, Jim Henson would be rolling in his grave if they hadn't pulled him out, stuffed him, and turned him into a puppet.
And if he was alive, we'd totally have him on as a guest.
100%. You wouldn't stop him. Yep. Jim Henson would be here, like Dave Campbell in a second. But what we need to do, Braden,
patiently waiting in the green room.
Very patiently waiting. Look, let's do one class across for Luke and see if we can find him and get to hear what his message he has to tell us this week, and then we'll push on with the show. All right? Let's see what's happening on Luke. Luke, are you there? Luke, I don't know what's going on, Braden. I'm really struggling with this because he was meant to be here, and he said he would be, and now he's not.
Oh, is it? Can your employers get you some better technology, maybe some hardware, help them out? Because we really
something's clearly going on, and we'll have to set out
4 weeks running.
It's pretty disappointing, quite frankly. Yeah. I'll tell you what isn't disappointing, though, Braden, is our very next and final guest for tonight. He is a singer. He is a performer. He is a presenter. He has done all of the things that we wish that we could do. And he is standing right behind us right now. Friends, please welcome David Campbell.
Hi, everybody. There he is.
Oh, man. Totally not at all pre-recorded.
He's also the only reason a lot of people are tuning in tonight. So it's great to get to this part of the show.
Look, I'm glad
internet bump.
David, now, very serious. We take the whole process of CalmDown very seriously. And you've been a man who's actually been in the same room as someone with coronavirus. Obviously, you're okay now, which is great to hear. How did you manage that time when you were kind of going, I don't know if I'm going to get sick?
It's very strange time because before the country sort of shut down. So we'd heard about coronavirus was happening, and Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, well, Tom was in the country anyway. He was shooting on the Gold Coast, and Baz Luhrmann's new film, the Elvis Presley film, where he's playing Colonel Tom Parker. Rita was doing shows at the Opera House, and she decided to do some extra promotion by coming on the Today Show and on Today Extra. Now, we're already in that small studio in Today Extra, the current affairs studio, so it's like, but then, she sort of comes in and she was very mindful of like, let's do elbows, Corona and all that stuff. And we're like, oh, hilarious. And she sat with us for like 10 minutes. Then she went off with producers and, recorded a track for us as well. And sort of didn't think about it again. She was lovely, as much as you want Mrs. Hanks to be. And, we were fans of them. And they were so kind and really great with the time. It was only a few days later then that I sort of got the call and I was doing another job. And it was like, so we just found out that Tom and Rita have come down with the coronavirus. You need to get tested. Yeah. And so now my wife is, apart from running the Hayes Theatre and being on the board there and on the board of the LPA, Live Performance Australia, she is now casting Moulin Rouge, the musical, here in Australia. God. Incredible. So she got back from New York where she was working with the director and the casting director over there and had started casting here. So she was in Melbourne and I was already just doing I was at home with the kids by myself working. So I got this call and I'm like, and I'd only just started hear information of what we should do. Nothing had shut down. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to, I called my doctor. They said, go to the emergency ward. So Belinda Russell, who's my co-host, and I went to the emergency ward and we got to the triage unit. They were really kind. They took us through everything. And I had to spend a couple of days in quarantine until I got my results back.
Sure.
And we sort of were protective about how long we were there. I took my kids out of school. Lisa didn't come home for that whole time until I got the all clear. And so, I was lockdown. So it was interesting. I've been doing this now for about 6 weeks. So it's interesting how it all feels.
What the good thing is that you're okay. And Braden, the better part is that we've now, we're, two Kevin Bacons to Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That's great.
David, I'm based in Melbourne. Is your wife still looking for any people for the show or?
It depends how good you are at your can. How's your can?
I'd probably have to limber up. But a serious question. Last week we'll be aware that we're searching for the ideal musical guest. And we know him as the Fringe Man. And he performs at Carols by Candlelight, which you perform and host. So, David Campbell, can you help us get one step closer to Fringe Man? Sorry?
Judd. He's in the Melbourne Gospel Choir.
Judd in the Melbourne. Okay.
Right.
That's enough.
We've got a name.
Week's clue. We will. So we know a Judd in the Gospel Choir, and audience, if you know Judd or the Gospel Choir, get in touch, and we're gonna follow this rabbit hole till we get Fringe Man on CalmDown.
This is the worst scavenger hunt ever. I got to tell you that right now.
Back to you, Mulk.
Thanks,
I've done the
Braden.
serious work.
Good. Well, all the heavy lifting. I'm glad you're here. Yep. David, you very kindly offered to close the show and perform for us. Can you tell us about the song?
I've been doing this sort of at-home things on Saturday nights on my Instagram stories. I started doing it just loosely in my kitchen, and then I thought I'll just devote a night to doing one night a week where we can just sit here and just do music and jam out. And I've been doing songs from different artists and different eras. And on the weekend I did the 60s because I had an album in 2008, I think, called Good Lovin'. Yep. And I really enjoyed doing that. So I'm going to do a song by the Rascals that I sort of reignited on the weekend, and it's one of my favorite songs from that period.
Amazing. Well, we look forward to hearing it. I've been Mulk. That's Braden. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us. We're going to get right out of the way and let the person with the talent do some stuff. Bye, Braden.
Bye, Mulk. Bye, David. Bye, everyone.
Bye. No, we don't. Yeah, that's right. Good luck. And don't encourage him with the Judd thing, right? That's all we need. Friends, join us next week for our season finale of CalmDown. We hope you can join us. But in the meantime, please hang around and listen to the man with the most talent you've ever seen, David Campbell.
How can I be sure in a world that's constantly changing? How can I be sure where I stand with you? Whenever I'm away from you, I wanna die. 'Cause you know I wanna stay with you. How do I know? Maybe you're trying to use me, flying too high can confuse me. Touch me, but don't take me down. Whenever I'm away from you, my alibi is telling people I don't care for you. Maybe I'm just hanging around with my head upside down. It's a pity I can't seem to find someone who's as pretty and lovely as you. How can I be sure? Really, really, really wanna know. I really, really, really wanna know. How's the weather? Whether or not we're together, together we'll see it much better. I love you forever. You know where I can be found. How can I be sure? In a world that's constantly changing, how can I be sure? I'm sure that you, but not sure what those chords were that I played before, but they're